Hi everyone and welcome to Tri-Compax. Today we'll discuss one of the bravest moves Rolex pulled off in the recent years. With these new Oyster Perpetuals, sacrificed a fan favorite diameter, simultaneously bringing back to life a color palette that we didn't get to see since the 80s. These new Oyster Perpetuals, at first, after the digital global reveal in September 2020, had to face the competition of the new Submariners, in terms of public attention at least. Soon after, though, people started to take interest in these colorful entry-level Rolexes, and rightfully so. The transformation stormed the entire lineup in all 5 available diameters, from the women-sized 28mm all the way up to the new 41mm version, passing through the intermediate options 31, 34 and 36mm. The most attentive of you noticed a significant absence for sure. The 39 models have been discontinued. Considered by many a perfect combination of elegance and sportiness, not too big nor too small, this diameter fell victim of the trend that for years now wants the cases of our timepieces to relentlessly grow. This, despite the undisputable signals coming from the market indicating a turnaround. Take for example the great and absolutely deserved success of the Tudor Black Bay 58. Another revolution that transformed the lineup, not considering the updating of the movement for now, is certainly the great comeback of the colorful dials. We already saw these shades between the end of the 70s and the 80s on the much more expensive Day-Dates Stella. This moniker, coming straight from the official catalogs of the period, seems to be connected to Stella SA, the company that produced the lacquered paint used by Stern Frères, the historical company that made Rolex dials before production was shifted entirely in-house. Before we focus on the model subject of this review, it is appropriate to complete the recap of the revolutions that affected the entire range of Oyster Perpetuals. Doing so, we get to the movement. New caliber 3230 is replacing the 3132 and is shared with the new Submariner in its no-date version. The most significant difference between the two is related to the power reserve that goes from 48 to 70 hours. The other relevant upgrade is the introduction of the Paraflex shock absorber, the system implemented by Rolex in 2005 to improve shock resistance of their watches by 50%. So, two novelties really focused on the user that can really appreciate them every day. Speaking of useful improvements, as on the non-diver professional watches such as the GMT Master 2 or the Daytona, the bracelet has finally been updated, receiving the EasyLink system, allowing the wearer to extend it by 5mm when needed. Now, about this 126000, the Oyster Perpetual version with a 36mm case and in this instance a green dial. What can I say? It really is a great piece. First things first, 36mm. I chose this diameter after I tried the new 41mm option. Let's just say that I was a bit disappointed. In the past, I had the 39mm dark rhodium OP, the one with the grey Soleil dial and the light blue hour markers, and I thought that for my 6.5 inches wrist, the new oversized 41 could be just fine. Well, it wasn't really the case that turned me down, but the proportions of the dial. For me at least, much less balanced compared to the 36 that instead immediately gave me some vintage vibes. The dial of the 41 looked too big, with voids too extensive for my taste. This 36, on the other hand, I believe that it presents an impeccable general harmony. The double batons at 369, already present in the previous generation, don't weigh down the dial that turns out to be full without being crowded. The blue chromolite luminescence is perfect and allows us to appreciate this Oyster Perpetual in every light condition. Speaking about lights, the true star here, appropriately Stella in Italian, is the green of the dial. Of the 8 chromatic variants, the 3 sensible choices, black, blue and silver, have the Soleil dial that we all know and love. But the other 5 really took center stage with their bold lacquered finishes such as yellow, coral red, candy pink, turquoise, already nicknamed Tiffany by the enthusiasts, and of course this green that we could really call Rolex green. The true masterstroke of the Swiss wizards, I believe it was the ability to give to the lacquer dial of this OP a characteristic usually associated with the Soleil dials, which is the extreme variability of the color based on the lighting conditions. It ranges in fact from a light pastel green to an almost black, deep forest green. The depth of the paint really makes this piece, giving it a great personality. It is perfect to complete an already rich collection, but shouldn't be excluded as an everyday watch, unlike maybe some of his siblings equipped with much more challenging dials, definitely harder to pull off. Retail price here in Italy for the 36mm version is €5,300. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this new Rolex Oyster Perpetual, and if you liked this review, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a good one!